Welcome back to the restaurant show. We are joined by a friendly, familiar face in one of our favorite restaurants and restaurant owners. This is Stephen Dascom from the Egg and I. We're so pleased to see you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So we're going to do a soup today.
Yeah.
So
well,
tell us which soup we're doing.
This is we call it a wild mushroom soup. It's a portobello mushroom soup.
Delicious. You've got these gorgeous mushrooms over here. I said when he came in that they looked like props, but they're not. They're real mushrooms.
They're the real deal.
And this beautiful selection of ingredients and your cute little bowls, all of this is about to be soup, so tell us how it's done.
Okay, well, in keeping with everything else, we actually cut up and make and use real ingredients and things.
I love it. So this is all chopped up by you at the restaurant.
I've already melted some butter.
Perfect.
And we're going to add some green onions to it. So
beautiful.
The same stuff you get at the store.
Fabulous. A little green onion.
A little regular onion.
Regular onions going in.
We're going to
all
add
real
most
food,
of this stuff.
You know?
So minced garlic.
I love garlic in pretty much everything, so I'm so glad to see that as an ingredient. What's that one?
Black pepper.
Black pepper, okay.
Some chili peppers.
Little spice, little kick, right?
Little kick, gotta
Need
have
a little
kick.
something, yeah, clear those sinuses. And some time.
And some time. So we're going to go ahead and cook this up.
We've just think the little bit of spices and onions smell really good already.
And there's where we're at right now.
Okay, so we're cooking it up. So we'll start with that. We'll let it cook for just a minute.
Okay.
So Stephen, how long do you cook before you put the mushrooms in?
Okay, well we cook this for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
And then we're going to add our mushrooms.
Next step.
And that'll be about another 7 minutes.
Look at how beautifully diced those mushrooms are too. I have to pause and give you props for that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so the mushrooms go in, and then we cook for another how many minutes?
About 7 or so.
Okay, about 7 more minutes.
Let's get this. Okay, so now we're going to add our flour and make a roux.
So, Stephen, I may seem a little ignorant for asking this question, but I don't know what a roux is. Explain.
Okay, well, a roux is equal parts fat.
Okay.
In this case, we used butter and flour.
Okay.
And you cook it depending on how dark you want your final product to be, is how dark you're going to cook it. You're just getting rid of that raw flour flavor.
Okay. Now, is this just a soup term? Is roux a soup specific
no,
term?
You use it in a few different things. Sauces, various sauces, or you get soups, or depending on what you're making.
Okay, interesting. So we're making
a
roux.
See, it's already coming together fairly fast.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so now in this case, you're doing that kind of mid-soup.
Right, well, this is a mushroom soup. It should be a darker brown anyway, so I'm going to cook this down for a while, probably 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay, gotcha.
So we're going to let that go for a little bit.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so we've had that cooking for how many minutes?
Oh, this has been going on for probably a good 7 or 8 minutes.
Okay. So 7 or 8 minutes.
It's getting dark here. It's sticking a little bit to the bottom of the pan, and that's quite all right. That's all your flavor down there. We're going to continue to make the soup right in this pot. It's going to be fabulous.
Really quick, before we got started cooking, you had mentioned that this is a little bit different in terms of how you're making the roux for this soup versus how you would maybe normally make it. So what's
well, generally you would make a roux and you would add it to whatever you're cooking. In this case,
I see. So your roux would be separate, and then you'd add the roux. But we're actually cooking the roux.
This is kind of a little shortcut, but I don't really like doing it this way, but this is the way the recipe calls for.
Okay.
So, but it seems to work, so.
Okay, so a little side note, a roux side note, as we'll call it. Okay, so the next step is what? We're going to add? We're going
to put, now I made, this recipe also, we call for a base rather than a broth.
Okay.
Base, some people don't like cooking with bases because they're already seasoned. You can't control your seasoning yourself then.
Okay.
I think you could still add or subtract later on.
Okay.
So I'm going to put that in. I've preheated it. It makes everything go so much faster.
Okay. Excuse us while we get our extra ingredients here. There's so much that we had a lot, so we had to go get.
This is a difficult, it's a complicated recipe for TV.
Definitely. Well, it's not, there's a lot of cooking. There's a lot of ingredients. And so now once you add that, you're just going to stir it together and...
Right, and I'm putting a little bit more water in.
Okay.
And
then a peek. We got a big old pot.
We're going to add this is half and half. You could use cream. You could use milk. Milk's a little thin.
Okay.
This soup should be a little thicker.
Yeah, we want a nice hearty soup, especially this time of year.
Right.
So I agree with that. And a little half and half. A little fat never killed you. We need it these days. Back in the day,
fat is flavor. That's what
fat
the
is
cook will tell
flavor.
you.
Well, back in the day, we were all so scared of fat. Now we know it's not that bad. Okay, so there we go.
There's all kinds of little things going on in there.
And you can't smell this at home. I feel sorry for you because it smells outstanding. So we're gonna let that cook for, how long is this one gonna cook now?
It's gonna go about 30 minutes.
Okay, so there's really not too many steps. Once you kind of get it down, there's just some cooking things in between in order to make sure everything is the perfect amount of doneness and temperature and everything. So after about 30 minutes of cooking, okay, we are ready to serve the soup up, ladle it up, as they say. So what is it going to, what's the main difference between 30 minutes ago and now in terms of the process? Just everything is going to be a little softer, a little bit more well done.
Yeah, well, the flavors that have the opportunity to mingle. Basically.
Right. Okay, so the flavors have mingled. They are mingled away, and that roux got nice and dark, and we've added the cream and everything else. So we're in good shape.
Yeah.
Now this is, what's this soup called? Remind me.
This is it's a mushroom soup.
Okay, so mushroom soup is actually part of, look at that. That looks so great.
Under these lights, it looks so light. It's a darker soup usually.
I know, well, we're here in the bright light. So if you serve your soup on the sun, this is what it's gonna look like. But tell me, this is part of your specials, right? So you have a couple of specials you're doing right now.
Well, the soup itself isn't really a special, other than we change the soups up frequently.
I see.
This will come around every week or two.
Okay. Oh, so we can get this occasionally. This isn't a one and done. Oh, fabulous. Okay. But then you do have a couple other things that are going on right now.
Well, our campaign right now is called California Dreamin'. I guess everybody wants to get that.
We're pretending it's not winter anymore.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what's happening.
So this is well, as I mentioned on our last show, the pineapple coconut pancake, which is so good.
Is back, if you remember it.
Where we toast the coconut and put it on top. There's little diced pieces of pineapple in the cake itself, and then we make a vanilla cream sauce, which we
heavenly.
Serve with it. It's really awesome.
Yes.
And then also, I just made the California scramble.
Yes, we had that on our last show. Loved that.
That's delicious. So
yeah.
Those are our two specials that were limited time offers that we're running. We're always running a special of some kind.
So what I would do if I were you is I would come for breakfast and get the California scramble. Then I would come back for lunch and I would get the pineapple coconut pancakes.
Yeah.
I almost tripped up there. And then maybe I'd take a cup of soup to go. That's my plan. What do you think?
I think that would be a fairly...
That'd be a hearty lunch.
Yeah, that's a lot of food.
That'd be a hearty day, but you know what? I think I'll make it happen. Well, Stephen, thank you so much. We really enjoyed this. Thank you for teaching us this fabulous soup, and we learned what a roux was today, and it's all fantastic. This is the Egg and I off of the Beltline. Stop in. They have absolutely phenomenal food. I totally recommend it. You will not be disappointed. And thanks again.
You're welcome. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Always great to see you. We're going to be right back after the break with more Restaurant Show.